Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso, when Ibrahim Traoré received an unexpected invitation. His team had organized a video conference with international representatives to discuss issues related to African sovereignty and global cooperation. Among the guests was Jasmine Crockett, a United States Congresswoman known for her progressive views and tireless defense of human rights. Traoré sat in his simple office, surrounded by books and documents on sustainable development and public policy. He didn't expect that meeting to turn into something extraordinary. After all, it was just another appointment in her busy schedule. On the other side of the screen in Washington, D.C., Jasmine Crockett prepared for her performance. She knew that speech would be important, but she didn't imagine the impact it would have. While adjusting her microphone, she looked into the camera and began to speak. "Mr. President," she said, her voice firm but full of emotion, "today I want to dedicate my time to something that goes beyond politics or diplomacy. I want to talk about dignity." Traoré, who until then had been reviewing some documents, looked up immediately. There was something different about Jasmine's tone. "Over the past few months," she continued, "I have been studying the history of Burkina Faso and its struggle for independence and self-determination. And frankly, I have been deeply inspired by the leadership example of you, President Traoré." The virtual auditorium fell silent. All the participants seemed mesmerized by Jasmine's words. "But," she continued, "it's not just about your political decisions. It's about something bigger, the way you put people first. How you refused loans that could further enslave your country to the international financial system. How you invested in the education and health of your people, even in the face of external criticism." Jasmine paused, visibly moved. "I grew up in a marginalized community in the United States," she said, her voice shaking slightly. "I know what it's like to feel like the world is against you. But I also know that when someone decides to fight for the dignity of their people, it can change everything. And that's exactly what you're doing." Traoré remained silent, absorbing every word. He was not used to receiving such sincere praise, especially from Western political figures. "President Traoré," concluded Jasmine, "your example has taught me something important, that leadership is not about power, but about service. And I can only thank you for reminding us that wherever we are in the world, human dignity must be our top priority." The room was silent for a few seconds, until applause began to echo virtually. Traoré, still in shock, slowly stood up to thank him. "Ms. Crockett," he said, his voice cracking with emotion, "I have no words to express how much your words mean to me. Today, I learned something new, that true leadership transcends borders and cultures." After Jasmine Crockett's moving speech, Ibrahim Traoré remained silent for a few moments, processing the words that had touched something deep within him. He knew this moment was more than just a compliment. It was a validation of the path that Burkina Faso was taking. "Mrs. Crockett," he said finally, his voice thick with emotion, "your words left me speechless. But most of all, they reminded me of something important, that the fight for dignity is not just ours. It is that of all those who believe in a better world." Jasmine smiled, visibly moved by Traoré's sincere response. "President," she responded, "your leadership is proving that Africa does not need saving. It needs to be heard. And I hope your example inspires other nations to follow suit." The video conference was widely publicized on social media, generating intense debates around the world. Many African leaders came to Traoré's defense, highlighting the importance of policies centered on people and not external interests. In the United States, Jasmine Crockett faced criticism from colleagues who accused her of romanticizing African leaders. During a live interview, she firmly responded, "I'm not romanticizing anyone," she said. "I'm recognizing the courage of a man who puts his people first. And if that bothers some people, maybe it's because we need to rethink our priorities." Meanwhile, in Burkina Faso, Jasmine's speech quickly became a symbol of hope. During a visit to a small rural village, Traoré met a woman named Awa, who had benefited from one of the government programs. "Mr. President," she said, holding a who as she worked in her field, "I heard about what that American lady said about you. She's right. You're showing us that we can build our own future." Traoré smiled, deeply touched by the woman's words. He knew this was more than a political triumph. It was proof that genuine leadership involves inspiring. At the end of the visit, a child gave Traoré a small gift, a handmade wooden sculpture representing two human figures holding hands. Inside it was engraved the phrase, "Kindness unites worlds." Traoré kept the gift with him, knowing that it was more than a simple memory. It was a reminder that every act of kindness could create big changes. Back in the United States, Jasmine Crockett continued to defend her ideas. During a meeting at the Capitol, she was asked again about Traoré. "This man is proving something that many of us forget," she admitted. "That leadership is not about power or status, but about serving others. And perhaps it's time we learn from examples like his." Jasmine's statement was widely publicized, further reinforcing the message that acts of kindness and genuine leadership can unite people from different parts of the world. Jasmine Crockett's moving speech quickly gained international attention, inspiring debates about leadership and human dignity. Her statement, which highlighted the people-centered policies implemented by Ibrahim Traoré, generated a wave of global support for the model adopted by Burkina Faso. In the United States, Jasmine began receiving messages of support from activists and community leaders who saw her words as an opportunity to promote local change. During a community event in a marginalized area of Washington, D.C., she shared her experience with Traoré. "I met a man," she told the crowd, "who is proving that you can put your people first, even in the face of external pressure. And it made me realize something important, that we can do the same here." The audience applauded, inspired by the message of hope. Many began organizing local initiatives based on the principles advocated by Traoré, such as self-sufficiency and dignity. Meanwhile, in Burkina Faso, Traoré continued his mission of transformation. During a visit to a small rural village, he met a girl named